We were able to point that out. So those things really help, as I said, going forward.
You really like the rhythm that Carson and Scott got into. How much of that is because Scott was on the sideline, and do you expect that to happen for the season?
I think so. Plus, when he talks to the quarterback, now it's direct conversation. It really is. And I think that really helps them both. And I kind of like that. I thought, he had a really good feel. I really did. Because when you don't have where you're sitting there looking at the play clock and just, we're going to delay a game, that tells you, hey, there's a rhythm. They're both on the same page. It's easy for them to make the call one time, and it goes directly to the quarterback as well. I think that's a big part of it in terms of the communications.
The tight end room, obviously you got a bunch of guys on the side. Logan's still out. It's very inexperienced without some of those guys. Does it become a point in camp where you're like, do we need to bring in another vet, or are you just kind of waiting out Logan Thomas to
we brought a vet in. I mean, we brought a young player in. I mean, they're hard to find. That's you just can't. You're not going to be able to dig up guys. So you take who you have, and you just hopefully get the rest of the guys going.
And Samus, didn't see him out here today. Only played the 2 snaps.
Yeah, he had his hamstring got tight on him, and he's got a slight pull, so he's dealing with that right now.
And just for Jahan, didn't have a catch in the game, was targeted on that one play. What did you just kind of see from him?
Well, it's that one thing that we talked about is that, I want to see the ball get spread around. And as far as Jahan's concerned, if he'd played a few more snaps, he probably would have had a ball or 2 thrown to him. So it's coming. It's coming.
With Sam, how much of this, this is a developmental year for him, but him knowing that there's no pressure to, try and surpass Heineke on the depth chart, or that he could be starting. How much of that is that beneficial for him, that he just kind of knows his role and can go about executing that?
It's a very good room, and I'd invite you to come and sit down and watch it someday.
Please.
But when you watch it and you see the dynamics between the 3 of them, you see the dynamics of them with the coaches, it's really good. It really is. Sam's attentive. He sits in. He asks good questions. I will say that. But the other 2 guys, really, they feed off of each other as well. And Sam does get involved. It's not like he just sits there. He contributes, and it's good. It really is, and that's kind of what you hope for. And as far as Taylor's concerned, that I've seen Taylor in that role before, and I've seen how he's handled it with such poise, such class, and always prepared. So I like where we are with those 3 guys. I really do.
And then going back to Ben's question about the tight ends, how much of this stretch has caused you to either rethink or maybe keep open? Last year I think you only kept 3, but maybe now you keep a 4th because of what Rodgers or Hodges is doing.
Right.
What has this done for your kind of overall thought about that position?
It most certainly has been a call for a lot of conversation with us because they're getting a lot of opportunities. And right now, for both of them, it doesn't look too big. I think that the young guys have done a great job. I hope we can get Cole back in a week or 2 and get him a chance to play in one of these games. And so, he can get a feel for what it's going to be like when it's out there. One of the things that was really evident going back to watching the tape was for some of our rookies, the speed caught them off guard, especially on special teams. They didn't quite understand it. And as they started to progress in the game, you could see them be a little bit more and more comfortable. And that's really important, and especially for a guy like Cole Turner who's going to get an opportunity. That's why you got to get guys like that back out there so they can get a feel and a sense for what that speed's like.
How did you feel John Allen did in the preseason game?
Oh, I thought Jonathan played well. I really did. I thought for the most part, he and Duran really, for what we need them to do, they did it. I mean, they got vertical into the creases. They hold to the point. Every now and then they got a little discipline, pop their gap a little bit. Both of them did do that. But I thought they were very stout, the 2 of them. And that's what we're looking for. It gave Cole a chance to run. It gave Jamin a chance to run and get to where they needed to be. And that's what you want. You want guys that can get vertical, get into the crease, demand that there is a double. And as soon as that double comes off, they came alive. And that's what you're looking for. That's what we hope to get from our tackles.
It seems like, and tell me if I'm wrong, that John has really stepped up his game over the last year or so. What has been the difference, you think?
I think for him, more than anything else, is reflecting on what he did last year has kind of validated everything that he worked for. So now there's a little bit more pep, a little bit more confidence in him. I don't know if you heard it today, but the way he was leading the defensive guys out there, just pushing everybody for more. That's what you hope for, and that's what you want from one of your guys.
Take 2 more.
Yeah. With Jarrett and Samus, last year they were the kind of the talk of the camp, that they were these nice kind of field goal stories. This year they obviously still have to earn it again. What have you noticed from kind of maybe when the attention isn't as much on them, but they still have to go about and being a pro. And I guess, do you talk to them about that at all or anything like that?
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing is that they've got to learn. They've got to grow, and because you can't stop. You have to take another step, because if you get stagnant with the way some people are coming up, it becomes now you're in a conversation of whether you're going to make it or not. So you've always got to, every time you're back out there, you got to show us something. You got to do something.
Could you talk about your assessment of the offensive line against Carolina?
I thought it was solid. I thought it was stout. I thought they did a good thing. I thought they gave our quarterbacks time, and that's one of the things that you want, is you want to be able to have lines that, it doesn't matter what quarterback's in there, they have an opportunity to throw the ball and operate the offense. And because they did that, that was really good. We didn't have Chase out there at center with our number one group, and so I thought the group still played very well. They really did, and it just shows you what Keith's value is to us. Last year Keith coming in as our fourth center, playing as much as he did. Now with Chase out, with Tyler out, Keith has been getting a lot of reps. Keith's showing us what he can do. I thought Andrew played very well, as did Wes at the right tackle. I thought Cosme had a good game, very good showing. Leno's getting really close to in-season form already. I mean, he's had a very good camp, and those five guys were stout. And then the young guys getting opportunities to play a little bit. I thought some of them did really well. I thought Chris Paul was stout. I mean, he was very, very stout. I know on the pump and go, a lot of people are going to give him the sack, but on that one, Sam could have taken his drop a little bit deeper, and that way, when Chris made his stand, it wasn't like, oh, there he is, and the guy just reached out and get a sack. But I thought Chris did play a very good game, and he's an exciting young player to watch.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, did you have something, Sam?
I was going to ask, there was one play where Jamin kind of came down and met the fullback and run Johnson outside. Is that something that,
yes,
is that something you've seen more consistently?
You've seen that a lot more when we do an inside run. Him understanding how to get downhill, how to get into the crease, and how to force the ball. To be honest, though, he did have a mistake early in the game. He should have spilled it when he hammered it, but because he was coming from depth, it was a real nice fit by Cam, and nobody noticed. But then when you watch the tape, to your point, that stood out. So it was the first thing I said to him. I said, Jay, what happened? He said, Coach, I got so excited to get downhill and hit somebody. First thing I saw, I hit. And I said, okay. But he played well after that. So there's a lot of positives that we did get off of that tape. Okay, cool. Thank you, guys.
Normal, whatever, bad day.
Yeah, bad day for you, Jay. No, Charles got it. You and Charles got it.
I know, I guess.